Hey guys, my name is Kat. My goal is to post weekly, hopefully we'll see how long that goes, is to post weekly videos on intentional and mindful eating with a more minimal approach. So an approach without cluttering rules and restrictions. And this includes tips and tricks as well as other goodies. So if you like what you hear, please go ahead and click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon so that you will get notified whenever I upload a new video. All right, so today we are talking about routine. I recently moved states. I've actually moved states twice in the last year's time span. And with that, there comes a lot of lack of routine. And I don't know about you, but I thrive on having structure and routine. I love that. So this year has been pretty challenging, but I am a registered dietitian and nutrition coach, and my focus, really what I specialize in, what I love to talk about is consistency and helping people make healthy choices that align with their environment, with what's going on in their life, all the stuff that's going to really help them be consistent. And so, because I've been going through this lack of routine, I have experienced, I've been able to use a lot of what I coach through and just be better able to help people when they are experiencing times in their lives and seasons in their lives whenever they don't have a lot of routine. I really love to start working with people whenever they feel like they're not at a good place to start changing their nutrition intake. For a lot of people, they will just wait and say, right now is not a good time to focus on my nutrition. I need to get this under control and this, and I just need my life to be like less hectic. But really, there's not really a perfect time, and there's not really a time where everything is just going to be super calm and super chill, where you can just focus on nutrition. And even if there was a time like that, it wouldn't set you up for whenever life changes and you don't have that calm place of that calm state anymore. So I am going to share with you three kind of ideas or tips. I don't know what you want to call it, but three different things that I wanted to hit on when talking about routine. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so number one is to just kind of take a more minimalist approach to your nutrition. And what I mean by that is not getting bogged down by all these rules and restrictions, and really just think about your trying to make your plate be really balanced. There's a time and a place for when you can have a more specific kind of intake goal, but whenever everything's kind of crazy, whenever you're traveling a lot, one of the best things that you can do is just make it as simple as possible. The less variables that you have going on, the easier that it's going to be for you to actually stick to your plan and stick to what you want to do. And so by taking your meals as like breaking them down into what I like to call meal components, that can be really helpful. So what I mean by meal components is having some kind of healthy fat with your meal, whatever that comes from, whether it comes from avocado or olives, olive oil, even if you want to put a little bit of ghee or whatever you choose, nuts, seeds, that kind of thing, and then pairing it with some kind of healthy protein. So that could be it could be plant-based, or if you would like to do an animal-based protein. If you do a plant-based protein, it's likely that you're going to get enough carbs in there as well whenever you're hitting what would be a good amount of protein in that. But if you're choosing a more animal-based protein, then also pairing that healthy fat and protein with some kind of carbohydrate source. So whether that's coming from either sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, fruit, quinoa, rice, wild rice, white rice, brown rice, jasmine, basmati, anything, any other kind of starch, and then adding some kind of non-starchy vegetable to that. Just focusing on those meal components is going to be really helpful to keep you satisfied and keep you energized so that you can do whatever you need to do and whatever you need to focus on throughout that time whenever you don't have a lot of routine, right? Because you need to use your energy elsewhere. So that kind of leads to number two, which is to really take advantage of what grocery stores provide these days as far as pre-prepped meals and like meal components. Something that I really love to do is grab those like ready to go washed pre-cut vegetables whenever I'm actually on the road traveling here through the states. There's a lot of places where there's not a whole lot of options as far as what I like to eat. And so what I have done often is just stop at a Walmart. Usually they're by the interstate areas. I'll just stop in, run in, grab some pre-cut, pre-washed veggies, whether that's little bags of carrots or sugar snap peas or even green beans. And I also will, if I don't have any in the car, I'll grab some nuts and seeds, and then I can just have those on the road. So you can put together a meal pretty decently if you stop at a Walmart in the middle of nowhere. So that's kind of something that has really helped me as we've kind of traveled across states. All right, and then the last thing, I know this is a short video. I'm figuring out how to do this YouTube thing, so who knows if they'll get longer or around the same. We'll figure it out together. But the last point I wanted to make is to make sure that you understand grace and patience and perfection. So, what I mean by grace is that you're just giving yourself some grace in not having that perfect meal plan or that perfect meal prepped, and knowing that also it's not going to last forever. And with that, that kind of leads into the patience part, that it's really just important that you're able to embrace where you're at right now. If you don't have a lot of routine, that is okay. It's probably not going to stay that way forever or for very long. And just finding the positive in that and using that as a time where you can really learn more about yourself and how you react to those situations when you don't have a lot of structure or routine, just so that you can better be prepared for maybe the next time in your life whenever everything's kind of up in the air and you don't have a whole lot of routine. So for me and a lot of my friends, we're military spouses, and so it seems like every once in a while our lives get turned upside down and we kind of just are up in the air of not knowing where we're going to move, what's going on, that kind of thing. And so in the military community especially, there's a lot of times where routine and structure are something that's not really possible. So understanding perfection, that was the third word that I mentioned. And that is not just important whenever you don't have a routine, but also when you do have a routine and structure. Focusing on the perfection is not healthy and it's not attainable. And if it is attainable for a specific amount of time, it's not going to be sustainable. And that's really what is important to me, and what is important as I do nutrition coaching is focusing on the sustainable habits. Don't worry about perfection. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's food meal plan is perfect. But instead, it's all about the consistency and a lot of other factors that come into play. But that's all I have for you today. I am so excited to get on this YouTube thing. I watch YouTube a whole lot, so it's kind of interesting being on the other side. But again, if you liked this video, if you got something out of it, please go ahead and hit subscribe and hit the bell icon. And I hope to hang out later. All right. Bye, guys.